actually in the screen?
Yep, you're right in the bullseye middle. And it's recording. I don't like it.
Why?
Because you're not smiling or anything.
Well, I'm not ready to shoot yet. Hey there, everyone. Here's FG coming at you again. Got a, well, sort of a new project, I guess. I mean, it's not a super modification. It's more just a little bit of a dress-up thing. I went ahead and changed my serpentine belt and tensioner yesterday, and got the idea that maybe I would try dressing up the engine cover a little bit. So let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit down here on the detail. So since I'm using red for my accent color for the truck, I went ahead and brought in some red here. And this is not quite complete yet, but so you can give you an idea of what I'm doing here. And here is the paints that I had for that. I picked these up at Super Wally World, also known as Walmart. I've got a gloss black here, and then I've got a color shift metallic. So what I did was I started out with using Fusion, which is a specialized paint for plastics, which I'm really hoping is temperature resistant enough for what the temperature in the engine bay is going to reach. I have no idea. I've seen people do some painting under hood before, and I'm really hoping that this turns out okay. And it's kind of one of those things that I'm going to just basically have to do it and see what it does. Hopefully it won't bubble from heat later on. But so as I mentioned, this is Fusion is the red. The black here is actually caliper paint, so that should be, I think, probably no problem at all. I wasn't sure about how the adhesion would go with that, but in the interest of being completely transparent here, my painting skills are not always the best, and what had happened was after I was finished painting the red area here, I had some problems with some bleed through where the masking didn't work out super great, and ended up with some overspray in places that I didn't want. So I ended up painting the entire rest of the cover with the black. And here you can see I've got a couple little runs. I'm not the world's best painter. They're certainly not going to hire me to do any show cars or anything of that nature, and I never pretended I was. I think this is, you know, kind of be a 50-50 look. You know, it'll look good at 50 miles per hour, riding by 50 feet away. So anyhow, so this is how it's progressing. I decided here these little indents on the side here where the runners go, I thought that I would just accent those in black. So this is just the first coat, so you can still see some red bleeding through there. I'm going to put a second coat after this dries. And then picking out the lettering, and yes, I know that my painting skills are not fantastic. You can see that there are some little blobby edges there. It's not great. It's not perfect. Never really expected it would be, but I'm working on it anyway. And the top coat on the lettering is going to be this stuff right here, which is actually a little bit of a metallic, and it says that it has a color flip-flop, which in different light it says that it's going to shift to gold, or okay, wait a minute, what is this? Okay, flash shift to gold superior metallic acrylic paint for decorative craft. Use on most paintable surfaces. Let dry 2 hours between coats. So we're going to see how this goes. I think I'm just going to put probably one layer of this on top of the 2 layers of black base, just to give it a little bit of bling. Yeah, I know that some people prefer everything to be monochrome or you know, very flat and discreet, and that's fine. It's your truck. You can do as you'd like. I just like to experiment with things and give it a little bit more pop. So I'm thinking that if I pop with this metallic here, I think it'll be interesting. I can always paint it over if I don't like the way that it looks. So, you know, that's the nice thing about paint. You can always lay down another coat and cover your mistakes. So, as I mentioned, it's not perfect. You know, you got a little bit of orange peel here. can see that you know, it didn't. It's definitely not a buff and ride show car finish here or anything like that. You can see where it's not perfectly smooth along here. I probably should have sanded that out, but you know, it's one of those things. You know, it's definitely going to look neat when you pop the hood. And you know, I mean, I've got the wiring that I've added and the big fuse block over on the passenger side, you know, and none of those look like they were either made at a super high-end shop or was built from the factory. You know, they've all got imperfections and they look kind of cobbled. And you know, that's pretty much what I got. You know, like I said, I am definitely not a show car grade fabricator and never represented myself to be one. So here it is. This is pretty much what we're doing, and I'll come back what'll probably be several hours, or it might actually be tomorrow in real time, but will only be a few seconds on the video, and I'll show you the end result after all of the other layers of paint are laid down and everything's complete, and I let it dry, and we'll see how it comes out. I'm hoping for something nice. Certainly not perfect, but nice is good enough. So catch you soon. Hey folks, we're back now. It's actually Monday morning. The first part of the video that you watched a few moments ago was done on Sunday night, and so this is the completed paint, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in here a little bit on this. So it doesn't look a whole lot different. It has 2 layers of black as a base, and then what I did is I went ahead and put that color change paint. I only did 1 coat on it. So I wanted to, you know, basically see if I could just add a little bit of the color change without making it super obvious. Just, you know, a little bling, a little bit of pop there, as I'd mentioned. And I think that came out pretty good. So, you know, really, this is just a chunk of plastic, so, you know, it's certainly not worth a half an hour discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, but the only real unknown, I guess, is how color fast and what the how the paint will handle under hood temperatures. I know some other folks have painted their intake tubes and done some of the plastic work like this with colors, and so not really 100% sure what type of paint they used. As I mentioned, the black that I sprayed was caliper paint, so that I'm not worried about because that's supposed to be rated to, I think it's between 600 and 700 degrees. But the red and the black acrylic that I put on the lettering is not anything rated for any special temperature. So I'm going to have to see how that goes, and I'm really hoping that all this work doesn't turn out to be in vain, that you know, the paint bubbles or cracks or anything like that, or discolors because of heat. I guess we're going to find out. Hopefully the top of the engine doesn't get that blazing hot. So maybe I'll post a update on this in say a couple of months, and we'll see how everything goes, and I'll let everybody know if I still feel that this was a worthwhile mod. You know, at that point, if there is any problems, or hopefully if there isn't. So until next time, go out and enjoy, and get that truck dirty. There's still a big world out there waiting, regardless of you know, whatever's going on with political recount and Wuhan and everything else. America's still here, and so are the great outdoors. So go enjoy them, get in this fall weather, and go see some leaves. Have a good time.